Hello and welcome back to my living room repurposed as a yoga studio. My name is Collin and I'd like to thank you for coming back here for another series of videos presented by the Claremont Club. Today's topic, I'm going to continue on the theme of useful props around the studio, and our friend the blanket. Probably one of the more useful, most used, and never underestimated props that we have available to us. You do not need a genuine yoga blanket. You can pause the video here and grab any kind of suitable blanket from around the house, and then come on back and we'll continue with this series here. But let's begin with the most often used purpose for the blanket, and that's something just to sit on when we're in easy pose. So go ahead and fold your blanket or unfold your blanket and make it into a nice little shape that you can sit up on, and then slide it gently under your sitting bones. Start with a couple of inches, 2, 3, 4 inches, and feel how comfortable that is. What we're trying to do here is lift the hips up and enable that movement to allow us to a little easier adjust the shoulders to be right above the hips. Now this will also allow our legs to drop down a little bit closer to the mat, and that's going to engage a little bit of a stretch on the inside of the legs just from this passive action on its own. And often we will request that you at least start a class sitting on a blanket. It allows you time to warm up and check your alignment. So let's start that now. Gently close our eyes, sitting in cross-legged, easy pose. Gently bring the hands to the outside of the legs with the palms up. Now continue breathing here, focusing on your breath. And for this class, I'd like to offer a modification in our breathing. Perhaps gently constrict the back of the throat, coming into our Ujjayi breath, strong breath. You can hear the air moving in. You can hear the air as it exhales. Couple more breaths like this. And then slowly, gently open our eyes and bring ourselves back to class. Now I'd like to continue on this path that we've opened up of different types of breathing as well. And I'd like to introduce by far one of my favorite pranayama breathing methods is bee breath, is an English translation for it. And what we're going to do here is, and just watch my hands for, you just watch me hold the hands as they are. We're going to take our hands and cover or close off our ears. Now you can use the fleshy part of the palms, or if you're a little bit more adventurous, you can take your index fingers and just press on that fleshy part of the ear on the outside there, just to gently close our ear canal. Now don't do it yet. We'll have to get little instructions here. So after we close off our ears, what we're going to do is breathe deeply, and on the exhale, we're going to hum. So let me demonstrate 3 times. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Now, how this differs from the expression of the Om that we often do at the end of class as well too is our Om is basically coming from the inside and down in our chest cavity. The humming that we're doing, we're going to try and keep it focused in between the ears. Let's see how it goes. So let's take our hands and just close off our ears. And you may adjust this a little bit. Breathe deeply. And on the exhale, start to hum. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then gently release the hands down. Close the eyes, or keep them closed if they're already there. Just pause for a few breaths here. And feel that sensation. Go back to that sensation you felt as your ears were closed, as you were humming. Very gentle vibrations inside your head. And then slowly, gently open your eyes. I encourage you to experiment with this in many ways, of course. You can experiment with how you're going to close your ears. But I also offer up, change the pitch of your vibration. Change the pitch of your humming as well, too. The deeper that you can hum, the larger the vibrations that you're going to feel inside your head. And believe me, there's nothing that's going to discourage anybody from interrupting you when you're in the middle of this with your ear closed. So you can do this at home, and you'll be probably left alone until you're completed. So this is very, very encouraging, and I encourage you to try this as often as you can. But let's move on here. Let's take that blanket out from underneath ourselves and fold it approximately long length here. So we want this dimension. Put it on the floor and roll it into a tight little roll. If you're not as good at rolling as I am, your Subway wrap is about as close as I'm going to get right now. But once we have that, take this blanket in its rolled form and just place it towards the top of the mat. And bring ourselves, first our shoulders onto the blanket, feet flat, knees pointed up to the ceiling, and gently roll down to the other side of the blanket. What we're aiming for here is to have the blanket supporting our shoulder blades, but still giving us enough space that we can bring our head onto the mat. Now, if your head can't come onto the mat, you can make the roll a little smaller and not as high. But try and place yourselves here. Keeping the feet flat, keeping the knees pointed up. See how this feels. Now, if everything is going okay and there's no disturbances in your lower back or your upper back, release the arms out to the sides or wrap the arms or the hands around the outside edge of the blanket. From here, you can straighten the legs. Coming into a very gentle back bend here. Breathe deeply into your chest. And exhale. Down down here, if you'd like to, you can practice your Ujjayi breath. Constrict the back of the mouth, back of the throat. One more breath. And then slowly, gently bring the feet flat back onto the mat, knees pointed up. Bring the elbows, the forearms onto the blanket. Gently push into the arms to come up halfway. Just pause here. And then continue the journey. Come back up to seated. Look around and take that blanket off the mat. Just put it off to the side. We will be back to it shortly. But transition to standing at the top of the mat. Inhale, extend the arms up. Exhale, float the hands down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold forward. Hands on the mat. Step into the top of a plank. Bring the legs down. Bring the chest down. Turn the tops of the feet over. Inhale, come up to a low plank. Exhale, tuck the toes under. Come up to tabletop. Continue the journey to your first down dog of the day. Just eased right into that, didn't we? Pedal the feet. Look forward. We have things to do. Let's keep going here. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, extend, come up. Exhale, hands to heart center. One cycle, sun salutations. Inhale, bring the arms up. Bend the knees, float the hands back down. The shins, inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold forward, hands on the mat, step back. Plank once more. Bring the legs down, bring the heart down. Turn the tops of the feet over, slide the hands down below the shoulders. Inhale, come up maybe for a little higher cobra, or maybe not. Tuck the toes under, transition to tabletop, and then push downward facing dog. Second dog of the day. We're not going to linger here. We have one more cycle to do. Look forward. Walk to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Second cycle, sun salutations. Last one coming. Inhale and up. Bend the knees. Exhale, float the hands back down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold forward. Step back to plank. Bring the legs down, bring the chest down, turn the tops of the feet over. Inhale, come up, maybe a little higher cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. 3 cycles, one more, look forward. Walk to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come up to standing. And then release the arms. Let's add a different element to this now. Take your blanket, unroll it, and put it on top of your sticky mat. This is going to add a little bit of instability to our practice. Now, who doesn't need any more instability in their lives? I sure don't. But this will be a little bit more of a challenge. Now, I'm putting it directly on top of my sticky mat. If you'd like a little bit more, you can take your sticky mat off and put the blanket right on the carpet. Or, if you really like a challenge, put your blanket on the floor or onto one of your tiled floors at home. It's a completely different dynamic and a different challenge, as we're going to see right now. So let's come back to the top of our mats and repeat our sun salutations. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, Float the hands forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold forward. Bring the hands flat on the blanket. Step back to the top of a push-up. Pause here for a breath. This feels a little different. Exhale, bring the arms down. Bring the chest down. Turn the tops of the feet over. Just come up into a low cobra to start. Exhale, come down. Tuck the toes under. First transition into a tabletop. And then push up to downward facing dog. Now that we're warmed up, maybe our knees can be a little less bent. Maybe our heels a little bit closer to the mat. And maybe we need to push a little stronger into those hands, into those arms to keep them from sliding away from us. What is going on here? Look forward. Walk to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more cycle. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Hands to the shins. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold forward. Hands back on the blanket. Step back. Plank. Let's hold our plank here. Maybe lift our right feet off the mat. Bring them down. Lift our left feet off the mat. Bring them down. Legs down, chest down. Slide the hands down below the shoulders. Come up to a medium cobra. And then transition first to a tabletop. And then up to downward facing dog again. Move the hips from side to side. Push, not only push the hands away from you, push the hands down into that blanket to keep you stable. Move your heels a little closer down. Look forward. Move to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come up to standing. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more cycle on the blanket. Inhale and up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold forward. Hands on the blanket. Step back to plank. Lift the right toes. Lift the left toes. Bring the legs down. Bring the chest down. Slide the hands down below the shoulders. Inhale, come up into a higher cobra. And exhale, come down. Tuck the toes under and transition immediately to downward facing dog. Pedal the feet. Move the hips from side to side. Let's challenge something else here. Inhale, raise that right leg up. So we're on 3-point down dog. You bend that right knee. Raise it up to the right hand side. Push the hands down into the mat, into the blanket. And then bring that right leg down. Other side, inhale, left leg up, 3-point down dog. Adjust your position. Push into the hands, push into that right foot, bend that right knee, and then pull that left foot over to the right side of the mat. Push into the hands, push into your right foot, and then bring that left leg down. Look forward. Move to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, bring the hands up. And exhale, hands to heart center. And then release. Move the shoulders, move the hips from side to side. And step off your mat, remove your blanket. Keep it folded though. We'll just put it off to the side here. And then come to seated at the center of the mat. Reach for your blanket. And fold it to approximately this configuration. Take that blanket and make it into a tri-fold or a Z-fold, depending what your expression or your understanding of this is. But fold it into 1/3, and then fold it another third on the other side. One side never seems to fold as well as the other one does, but do your best. We'll get a nice narrow blanket with a little thickness to it, like 3 to 4 inches thickness to it. So from here, take the blanket to the top of the mat and take one edge of the blanket, usually it's the tassel edge, and bring that in contact with our sacrum, with our sitting bones at the back here. And keeping the feet flat, just gently, slowly roll onto that. Oh, that is wonderful. Pause here, maybe readjusting. Now you have several options for your head. You can leave your head where it is and use the blanket as its own pillow. If that's not enough of a pillow, you can fold the edge of the blanket, bring it a little thickness, a little more height under your head, and use that as a pillow. Or, the other thing you can do is just scrunch the blanket underneath your neck and use it to support your neck. And of course your head back there as well too. Find what is the most comfortable one for you. And then once we're here, let's straighten the legs. Pause for a couple breaths. You can bring the soles of the feet together. Do a supine Baddha Konasana. Just letting the knees fall towards the floor. Just using their own weight to open that stretch. Your hands can be at your sides, palm down, at your sides, palm up. You can even take your hands and just gently place them on the inside of your thighs, just adding a little extra weight to help encourage the legs to open up. Stretch the inside of the thighs here. And this is truly another wonderful opportunity, if you'd like, to engage your Ujjayi breath. Gently close the back of your throat until your breathing gets noisy. So you feel the breath in and you hear the breath coming in. And on the exhale, you hear the breath coming out, feel it coming out. One more of your Ujjayi breath. And then slowly return back to normal breathing. Release your hands to the sides with the palms up. I would suggest that you take your Shavasana here. If you find the soles of the feet to be uncomfortable, you can straighten the legs and let the feet fall to the corners of the mat. I'll take this time to thank you for being here for this class, for spending some time doing something good for yourself. Thank you for sharing your time with me. Namaste.